Just wanted to add this in before the video. If you are not interested in hearing everything about machines and just want to skip to the best layouts, in my personal opinion, go ahead and skip to minute 16 of this video. That's when I start talking about the best possible layouts. Hey, welcome back, friends. If you want to join the friends, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. So today I'm going to be talking about machines. Now, I waited an extra week to do this just because I knew there was going to be some game fixes with Invention Batch 2, but it didn't seem like they actually changed that much, so apparently everything's working as they originally intended. I knew there were some bugs on the first couple of days, and I think they got hot fixed out, but I still wanted to wait a week. First off, it's going to give items some time to kind of stabilize in price, as well as actually giving me a little bit of time to research. And you should see my research. I have like 3 pages worth of research, and I'm going to try to shove that all into a little 10-minute video here for you. So, let's just start out with the basics. Basically, how the machines work is you first off build a generator, and using that generator, you will put divine charges into the generator. The generator will then take those divine charges and convert them into machine charges. The machine charges is what actually runs these machines. There's not a limit to the amount of machine charges that you can actually spend on these machines. You have unlimited machine charges. You can get as much in as you possibly want. But you do have a limit of how much power they actually use. And if we go ahead and check out one of these machine spots, they all have a power rating. So that's how much draw they'll actually have on the system. The higher the power rating, the less of them you could have. So you can have tons of these little 20 power rating ones, but the 50 power rating you could only have a couple of. So that's basically how it works. If you guys don't understand anything, go ahead and hit me up in the comments down below. I'll explain that a little bit better to you. But basically, you have a certain amount of power based on the level of generator you have. The generator just creates machine charges, and then that's what powers your machines. So first up, let's go ahead and talk about this generator here. I currently have the best generator there is, and there's no option to remove it. Unfortunately, I can't show you all of the different generator options, but the Jumbo is going to be the highest level one. At about, I think it's level 102, you can actually build a Jumbo generator. The generator, it does not convert the divine energies into machine charges any better. Divine energies give you 3,000 machine charges. Solid, that's it. So it doesn't matter what level generator you have, it's still the same efficiency of divine charges to machine charge. The conversion rate is always 1 to 3,000 machine charges. The only thing that the generator does by upgrading is, first off, the little power mechanic that I was talking about. The higher level generator that you have, the more power that you will have. At the basic tier generator, at level 60 invention, you can build that, and it only gives 100 100 power. The middle tier gives 125 power, and the top tier, the Jumbo, gives you 160 power. So you're going to want to just go ahead and upgrade that as much as you can. It does use some parts and I think some components. I think it does use precious components to actually build them. Unfortunately, like I said, I can't actually check that. I'd have to go into the wiki. So basically just upgrade this as high as you can. Get all the components you need to actually build it. There's no disadvantage to having this at a higher level, so you're going to want to get the Jumbo generator as soon as you can. So let's go ahead and talk about the 5 different machines that you can actually make. There are 10 different machines. There's a tier 1 and a tier 2 version for all these machines. First one is going to be Detainer, then it's going to be a partial potion producer, a plank maker, an alchemizer, and an auto disassembler. So let's just go ahead and start out with one willy-nilly. Let's go ahead and start out with the Detainer. So the Detainer you can build at level 93 invention. That's going to be the first tier. It does require some parts and 3 protective components. So you are going to have to it does have a cost to changing out your machines. You are going to have to pay this cost here. So keep that in mind. You might want to just come up with the optimized setting and just kind of leave it be, even if it's slightly better time to time to change it up. You may just want to leave it the way it is because you are going to have to be spending some deflecting components or padded components or whatever components these all have. You are going to have to spend those on building the machines, so the machines are kind of an investment into the future. The automatic hide tanner costs 25 power, so that means there's 25 power drain on your generator, and it will convert 45 items per hour at the cost of 225 machine charge. Now that adds up to 5 machine charges per item, or at the current prices of machine charges, which are based on divine charge cost. The divine charge now costs 60,000, which puts machine charges at 20 GP apiece. And seeing as how it costs 5 machine charges to tan 1 hide, it's not the best option for you. Just because it costs 100 GP to convert 1 hide into a tanned hide. If you really want a tanned hides, decent enough option. If you're just looking for money, this is going to be not the best option in the world. The optimized hide tanner is actually even worse. It costs 840 machine charges for 140 items, or 6 machine charges per item, which adds up to 120 GP apiece. Instead of the usual conversion rate of 20 GP to make a hide. It still does add up to about 200k a day for the optimized and 91k a day for the regular hide tanner, but you can get a lot better return rates. That's assuming that you make about 200 GP on the usual tanning, so you'd only be making about 80. If you do get really large margins, the hide tanner may be worth it. Go ahead and do the math for yourself, but as of right now, not the best option. Let's just go ahead and skip past that. Another thing that I'm gonna want to just kind of skip past is the alchemizer. Honestly, again, margins aren't the best with alchemy, and with the alchemizer, first off, tier 1, straight up not worth it. You are going to have to pay nature rune, 5 fire runes, as well as, let's check here, a lot of machine charges. I think it's like 6 machine charges, so that's 120 GP on top of a nature rune which is right now 400 GP, as well as 5 fire runes. That's another 500 GP. Usually you would be using a staff, actually, speak of the devil, fire battle staff right here. Usually you'd be using that to actually not have to spend fire runes when you're alchemizing. So straight up tier 1, not worth it. Don't do it because you do have to pay fire runes to alchemize, or cast high alchemy, whatever you want to call it. So let's just talk about the level 2 here. The level 2 is going to cost you 55 power, and you are going to cost 150 machine charges to convert 25 items per hour. Not bad at all. It's about half a day or half an hour's worth of work every single day. There's better conversion rates though, so unless if you're an Iron Man or something like that and you just want to have something to alchemize or cast high alchemy on your items for you, again, not the best item in the world. So that's going to leave you with 3 different machines that may be worthwhile using. First up is going to be the potion producer. Now I don't have any GP per hour rates for this, unfortunately, because honestly potions are highly volatile. That's going to be one of the reasons why I personally am staying away from them, but if you feel risky enough, you can go ahead and build these at level 90 invention. You will be able to make the tier 1 version, and it only costs 20 charge per hour, or 20 charge off your generator. And the tier 2 version does cost 114 invention and 50 power, but it is actually more efficient just because of the amount that it makes. The tier 2 version makes 40 items per hour, and the tier 1 version only makes 13 items per hour. So it is going to be worth it to spend that little bit extra power instead of making tons of small partial potion producers. You're going to want to make the DXs if you can. That being said, you're gonna have to be making a decent amount of GP on every single potion, and it also does not use the Dungeoneering scroll to give you the additional herbs back. So I doubt that it's ever gonna be actually worthwhile using this. But go ahead and look at the prices of items. It is actually sometimes going to be really good, because every once in a while you can make a potion and you make like 1,000, 1,500 GP from it. You are going to have to take off about 100 GP because it does cost about 5.5 machine charges per time that you're going to be making the potion. So go ahead and take off about 110 GP from any profit that you would usually make. And you will be converting a decent amount of the items per hour, so you could probably expect to make about 500,000 GP on the tier 2 if you can make about 800 to 1,000 GP per potion. I don't know how realistic that is, and anytime that the potions are going to be that good, odds are they're just going to crash the unfinished potions, so I personally stay away from this, but if you know the potion market better than me, go ahead and try this out. Next up is going to be the Plank Maker. This is my personal favorite. It does cost a lot of crafted parts though, as well as living components. The tier 1 is going to be made at level 99 invention with 30 power drain, and the tier 2 is going to be at 117 invention with 65 power drain. It's the highest level machine there is, so as you can expect from the highest level machine, it's going to have the best GP return rates per machine. At level 117 with the high capacity plank maker, you will be making 40 planks per hour, and the machine charges, it seems like a lot if you scroll down. It costs 600 machine charges only to make 40 items. Well, that actually only adds up to 15 machine charges per item that you're converting, which again, sounds like a lot, right? No, it's only 300 GP to convert a log into a plank. Usually that costs, at the very minimum, I think 1,200 GP. You're saving 900 GP by using this high capacity plank maker instead of just doing it with a sawmill and level 99 construction. This is extremely good. If you do the math out, you're making 800,000 GP per day. It does have the extremely high level of 117 invention, but even the regular plank makes 250,000 GP per day. That's assuming you have current prices for the logs and planks. They may go up or down in the future. Right now, the logs cost about 800 and the planks cost about 2,000. So you're making 900 GP for every single plank that you make, and you make them extremely quick with the high capacity plank maker. You do have to take into account though, it does cost a lot of power, so you could actually only have 2 high capacity plank makers running at a time. You'd have a little bit of power left over, but you can only have 2 running at a time instead of 3 or 4 of some of the other items, some of the other tier 2 machines. Last thing I want to talk about is the auto disassembler. This is going to be another very good contender for one of the best machines that they have in this update. The Auto Disassembler 1 is actually the lowest level machine that there is. It only costs 60 invention, the same level as you can start making the generators. So right when you start off with level 60 invention, you can make the simple generator as well as 3 auto disassemblers. Assuming you have the parts and the direct components already in your pouch, of course. And then at level 81, again, a very low level for the machine tier 2, it only costs you 40 power, or with a max level power generator, you can actually make 4 of these. And it disassembles 60 items per hour, which is about half an hour worth of items per day, about 1,500 a day, or yes, 1,500 items per day, and usually you can only disassemble 3,000 in 1 hour. So if you have 4 of these running, it's 2 hours worth of disassembling every single day, a massive, massive time save if you're an Iron Man, or if you are trying to make some money from a money making guide, go ahead and check the links down below. I'll show you my equipment siphon guide. That's probably gonna be your best bet right now, just because the simple parts aren't going to be quite as good with the divine charges, because a lot of people are doing that. So go ahead and make some what was I just saying? Equipment siphons. Equipment siphons are going to be your best bet, probably, assuming that you can get these auto disassemblers. I think it's like 2.5 mil GP per hour, so you're looking at like 4 or 5 mil a day with this. It does cost a little bit of extra time, because you do have to buy some components from stores, and you do have to spend a little bit of time making the rings. Basically, you're going to be getting Slayer rings and making them, and then disassembling everything. So because you are limited by the amount of Slayer rings you can actually get per day, it's going to be questionable whether or not you can actually get a full 2 hours with the disassembling every single day for equipment siphons. Just throw the rest of them into simple components, and you can make some empty divine charges, or make some actual divine charges if you don't have the level requirement for that. But auto disassembler, if you're willing to put the extra effort in, is going to be insane amounts of money. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my current layout. This is my personal favorite layout. I'm going to have 2 high capacity plank makers. Reason why I'm doing that is because I can just put these in, and then literally I just wait a week and then collect all my goods. I am going to be making, I don't even know, it's absolutely insane amounts of money. I going to be making 800,000 GP per day. Multiply that by 7, it's 5.5 mil per day for both of these high capacity plank makers. So that means I'm making 11 mil per week from just having these 2 high capacity plank makers running. That is insane. All I have to do is spend 5 minutes a week for 11 million GP. And the only reason why I have to do this every single week is because the capacity of these only holds about 8 days worth of mahogany logs to convert. So I just throw in the maximum amount of divine charges so I can fill up my jumbo generator, fill up my mahogany logs, take out the mahogany planks, and make 11 mil per week in 5 minutes. So really good. And reason why I have this auto disassembler here is I just have it disassembling some random parts that I don't really want to take the time and effort to disassemble myself. I will go ahead and show you exactly what happens. All you do is withdraw this pouch components, and you'll see all the different components that you get. I got 43 powerful, 435 flexible, etc. I'm just disassembling some Terrorbird pouches for some extra crafted components because I was running low on them. And then usually I just have it disassembling some maple logs. But this is just to fill up my power usage, because these are using 130 power, and this one only costs 30 power and saves me, I don't know, probably like 15-20 minutes a day of disassembling. Not wonderful, but a little extra bonus. Like I was saying before though, the best setup if you're willing to put in a little bit extra time on making machine charges is to just go ahead and build 4 of the auto disassembler Mark IIs. This is going to be my personal recommendation if you don't have the level 117 high capacity plank maker. If you don't already have the level for that, it's going to take you a long time to actually get to that level, and honestly the auto disassembler actually helps you with making enough invention experience to actually get up to that level anyway. The only reason why I'm not doing the auto disassembler Mark II, just having 4 of them running at all times, is because I'm lazy and I don't want to go ahead and make all sorts of Slayer rings again. I actually made 1,000 equipment siphons before actually this came out. Just before I made 1,000 of them during Double Experience Weekend, and I don't really want to do it anymore. But it's going to be absolutely insane money if you already have Slayer rings unlocked and you are willing to put in the extra 15-20 minutes a day. All in all though, the generator and the machines, absolutely insane money that you can make from these if you have Invention unlocked. So make sure you're doing this. Don't waste your own time. Go ahead and make as much money as you can. If you enjoy this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a like and a comment. As always, though, have a good one.